These deaths, the disappearance, everything that is now happening, it's all connected to his art, imbued with some spirit, created out of some vital ideal.
It's a bit baroque, don't you think?
I came here to warn you.
Okay.
We interrupt this program to bring you a special report.
This is Cheapseat Reviews.
Hello, and thank you for listening to Cheapseat Reviews, the podcast that explores the Hollywood film industry for the greater good.
For the greater good.
This is episode something. I don't have my script in front of me. 267. And tonight, we're talking about Velvet Buzzsaw.
Velvet Buzzsaw.
That's right. You heard me. Velvet Buzzsaw. Hey, that new intro music sound means, you know what that means? It means we are in Halloween. We are in the month of October, and we get to do our scary movies. Sometimes
and it finally got cool outside.
Yeah, that was great. And so yeah, we get to do scary movies. Sometimes they're scary. Sometimes they completely blow us away how cool they are. And sometimes there's this thing, Velvet Buzzsaw. I am Sean Allred, and joining me tonight is Andrew Mechanical Hobo Jimison.
I want a mechanical hobo really badly. just keep around.
Yeah.
I once built a railroad.
Yeah. so random. I mean, honestly, that was actually kind of a marvel of technology. I'm surprised more people didn't think that was pretty cool.
Right?
And Sam, all of these deaths were stupid. Vector.
All right. Opie, just so you know, I've got this stainless steel toaster in my kitchen.
Okay.
And I've drilled a hole in the side. Mm-hmm. And I'd like you to stick your hand down in here for me, if you will, and just see how it feels.
Okay. Oh.
Yeah.
I want to do this. We're going to do this right this second. Before we go any farther, Andrew is, while I vamp here for another minute, Andrew's getting the notes ready or the read. I want to know which death was the stupidest death that you thought. Because when you have movies like this, like sometimes what's fun about these kind of movies is the creative way that people die, which is, I know, morbid, but it's movies, right? I mean, there's nothing funnier than in not Chip and Dale, Tucker and Dale, when the guy jumps at him and dives into the wood chipper, and we all laughed. It was funny. Like that was one of my, you know what I'm saying? Like that's one of my favorite horror film deaths ever.
Oh, yeah.
Which one in this movie did you think, like, did you roll your eyes at and just thought, this is so stupid?
As the ink or the paint was dripping out of the paintings to engulf this woman's body, I rolled my eyes, literally. Because
I thought that was really dumb, too. Yeah.
First of all, who stands in the middle of a room for that long without looking around at things around them? What is she staring at? Well, she doesn't notice that the entire floor is covered in paint, which is coming toward her.
The thing that's dumb about that is that there's no room. It was all a part of the magic, right? It was just a wall, and somehow she was able to walk into. So, like the movie. The movie broke rules. This movie breaks a lot of physics rules, which is fine.
Oh, there's no rules at all.
It was dumb. You're right. That was dumb. Sam?
No, that was number one. The second one was the hanging, only because it was, I don't know. It just seemed, the hand grabbing out of the dark just didn't seem part of the art style of the movie. Does that make sense?
Yeah. That one annoyed me.
You figure art's going to kill everybody. and that wasn't really.
No, I guess the room that he was in.
The room itself, yeah. Okay,
yeah, but a hand comes
but
in.
Still,
but
a little out of place.
But like, if you were wearing a necktie and someone grabbed it and lifted you up, would it choke you? Like, all of your weight is on the back of your neck. I don't think it would choke you out. It would have been uncomfortable. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think it. Like, the reason why when you are hanged, it's because the it's in the back. So all the weight's on the front of your neck, and that's what makes you snap. But like,
well, it's the snap that kills you. It's supposed to kill you.
Yeah, you're right. Anyway,
unless you got a really strong neck.
Yeah, like Taylor Lautner did. It's so strange how that movie keeps coming back. As dumb as the movie that was, that movie keeps coming back.
Long neck.
Oh,
and now he's got 3 nipples.
Listeners, if you can name that movie, I will call you out. I will give you a prize of mad props.
Yeah.
Cheapseat Reviews at gmail.com.
Yeah. Good.
So tell us what we're talking about.
Yeah. For me, it's actually not the tattoo, though.
Okay.
That was the one where my wife watched this one with me. Also, Sam, that was the one where my wife said, "Really, the tattoo?" Because she was the one that called it when Rene Russo was sitting there in kind of the shape of the painting. Sarah was the one that said, "It's going to be her tattoo." And
well, once she got rid of the art, I put 2 and 2 together, saying, "Okay, I know what's going to happen now. It's because they kept focusing on all her tattoos. Something was going to kill her with a tattoo."
Which I thought was lame. I said I think it's.
Although I thought it was pretty interesting.
I thought the cat was going to kill her personally. So that one's pretty high up on my list. But honestly, my number one has got to be the CGI monkeys through the painting.
Yeah,
killing the guy.
Pulled him through.
Yeah, like that just didn't seem. I don't know. It seemed like all of the other art that killed. Well, I'm not
Jumanji-ish?
Yeah, it sucked. So basically, they all kind of are lame. It's just which one did you think was the most lame? That one rubbed me the wrong way. All right, Andrew, what is this dumb movie that we watched?
This movie is a satire, which I did not get, but it is. Thus saith the Netflix, a satire set in the contemporary art world scene of Los Angeles, where big money artists and mega collectors pay a high price when an art collides with commerce. That tells us nothing about this movie.
No, that really doesn't. Interesting.
But in a weird way, it tells us everything about this movie. Because it makes no sense, and the movie itself makes no sense.
No.
So we're going to try something a little different. We're going to spice things up a little bit. We're at episode 267. I think it's okay to spice things up a little bit every now and take ideas from different places and try on your own.
And steal them. And honestly steal them.
And steal ideas, yeah. I mean, absolutely.
Yeah,
and so if this works for a little while, we'll keep doing it. If you guys think it's fun, we'll keep doing it. If you don't think it's fun, we'll stop. So we're going to have this new little segment, which we're calling...
Stupid book.
And we're calling this a 5-word review. So basically, we're going to, before we really get into the show and tell you what the movie was about and what we thought about the movie, which I think we kind of already explained how we feel about this movie, we're just going to give you a quick 5-word review of the movie, or a 5-word synopsis, and then we're going to then we'll get back into the main meat of the show. Sam, this was your idea. I'm going to let you go first.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, great. My 5-word review is slow burn turns art bad.
Okay. Slow burn turns art bad. Okay.
Slow burn turns art bad.
That slow burn actually has a double meaning because this movie is really slow. I mean, this movie is set on simmer, and also there's a lot of burning references in the movie. So
yeah, there's a lot of fire, and then the art starts catching on fire randomly every now and then.
But almost actually doesn't do anything. But anyway.
Yeah. But no, this movie was slow. Holy cow, this movie was slow. And the only redeeming quality to me for this movie was Jake Gyllenhaal and his caricature.
Yeah.
Just seeing him act the snot out of a movie that was so bad he shouldn't be in it.
Yeah.
Kind of made me feel bad for him, to tell you the truth, because I thought his performance was really great.
Yeah.
But the movie was really bad.
Andrew?
Well, I actually have two, and one is legitimate, and one is just for fun.
Okay.
But to quote the immortal Bob Ross, mistakes are just happy accidents.
Nice.
And the other 5-word explanation of this movie is, what did I just watch? That's what I thought after I finished.
And it was how long was this thing? Was it almost 2 hours?
It felt like 16 hours. I couldn't.
Oh Lord. We ended up watching it over 3 different days because we just couldn't handle it.
Couldn't just sit and suck it up. It's an hour and 53. It's an hour and 53 minutes, and it felt like 2.5. It seriously felt like 2.5 hours.
Yeah, yeah.
I stopped it at one point to get up to go pee, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I still have 40 minutes to go." And my wife was like, "Just suck it up and finish it," because what I wanted to do was stop and go play video games, but I was like, "You know what? I need to finish it."
So what about you, Sean? What's your...
Sean, what you got?
Scary art kills stupid people.
There you go.
Jake Gyllenhaal is the only bright spot of this movie. He acted really, really well. His character, though, is an idiot. Everyone in this movie sucks. Mm-hmm. And I think that's part of the satire, right, is to show how shallow and just kind of
crazy the art world is,
and kind of useless, just to be honest. I mean, Toni Collette's character goes from being this person who works at this great museum, cataloging things, doing what is considered to be important work, to becoming some rich person's art buyer, and just turns into a, for lack of a better word, a biatch. And she just, I didn't like her. I hated her character. Again, I hated everyone in this movie. There's no one likable in this movie. The only
except, no. The Stranger Things girl.
Okay, sure. Wait,
but the Stranger Things girl who keeps happening upon dead bodies.
Yeah, I felt bad for her.
I did too.
And
I love that her reaction to all of them is screaming until the last one, and she's just like, "Oh, F me."
Yeah.
Like,
well, what I actually wanted. Okay, so there's so much in this movie that I wanted to happen that never gave me the payoff for.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, like, for her, for example, what I wanted to happen is, like, Jake is now dead, but she goes back into the room and finds a bunch of art that's not cursed and takes it, so she at least gets a paycheck. You know what I'm saying? Like,
her last
two bosses have died, so she's not going to get paid. Yeah. So I felt bad for her. So this is what I thought the movie was going to be. All right, so this is Dan Gilroy, right? We mentioned him last week. This is the guy that gave us Nightcrawler.
Is that the guy who goes around, draws the little eyes in the nose, peeking over a fence?
I think that's Kilroy.
Kilroy. Okay, sorry.
He has directed 3 movies. Nightcrawler. If Corny was here, he'd say Banff.
Yeah.
Roman J. Israel Esquire. I don't know what that is. And this movie, Velvet Buzzsaw. So what I honestly felt like we were going to get was another Nightcrawler. I thought what was going to...
Me too. I was hoping it was going to be another Nightcrawler. Because that movie is creepy as snot.
It is very creepy.
That's more of a horror movie than this movie.
Yes. I honestly thought... This is what I thought was going to happen. The girl was going to find the art, and then you find out that, like, the art is physically made from the remains of human flesh and blood and things like that. Because they sent it for technical analysis, but there was no payoff there. No. Right? Like, she's like, I don't know.
It's almost a Hoppig Man type of thing.
Yeah. She's like, I don't understand. I can't blah, blah, blah. And then we never hear from it again. It's like, I thought that would have been a cool thing. It's like, oh my gosh, all these reds and things are all...
Yeah, there's hair in this. There's teeth of white. You know, it's like,
Yeah, it's made from human remains. That's what I thought, that this guy was a serial killer. And then that someone, and I honestly thought it was going to be Jake Gyllenhaal's character because of who he was in Nightcrawler. I thought his character was going to get so far into the past of this man that he was going to then feel like obligated to continue his work and then go on a killing spree, and then he was going to kill Toni Collette and the cute black girl that started the whole thing. Like, I honestly thought that what was going to happen, and then he was going to be the next painter person thingy, right? The next artist. Yeah. That's what I wanted to happen.
And I thought that the twist was going to be that the original guy that died and they found the painting, like that's a pattern that keeps happening, right? Yeah. Where the next person who's in charge of the paintings, ends up being cursed, and then it keeps being moved on. Right. Well, which would create a series, really, or what do you call it? When you've got several movies of one thing.
Yeah, well, part of a series or not an anthology, but I know what you mean.
What I thought was going to be? I thought it was going to be a lot more creative deaths in terms of the art killing people. I thought it was going to be fun. I hate saying killing people is fun, except for Opie, but kind of funnish, interesting ways to die using art. Yeah, and it really wasn't. It was. I mean, once you saw the sphere, you knew what was going to happen.
Oh, yeah. You knew someone was going to stick a body part in there.
I turned to my wife at the time. I said, someone's going to lose an arm in that.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't, and it took pretty much until that scene where she lost her arm for me to understand that it wasn't just his art that was attacked. All art. It was all art, which I still am not connecting the dots here. Yeah. Like, how does the issue with his art have any effect on other art?
And maybe that's the thing. Maybe it does. Maybe the art around it, I don't know.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Curses these people,
and that's the problem, Sam. You're having to go in way Ghostbusters territory to explain this thing. I mean, like, my issue. And that's a big issue too, Andrew, is like, okay, it's not just his art that's evil. Somehow it's even monkeys playing poker. Is doing it. Like, I understand when the first one happened, the very first one, the dude, right, which, by the way, okay, you've got what you think is millions of dollars for the art, and you're going to hire Bob over there in his pickup truck to deliver it to the warehouse? Come on.
Yeah, no.
Anyway, when it caught fire and burned him, I thought, oh, that's what's going to happen. The art's going to be killing people, whatever. But how does the art know who to kill? Like, the art seems kind of...
It chooses, yeah.
It chooses strangely. Like, why doesn't Malkovich get killed? He stares at the art. Why doesn't the other artist, the guy that created the sphere...
We end up watching him dance at the end.
Yeah, like, why doesn't the art from the sand kill him?
You know what
I'm saying? Like, there's so many kind of unresolved moments. Like... Okay, the whole love triangle, by the way, with Jake Gyllenhaal and the sphere artist guy, I can't remember his name, and her was really dumb and frankly unnecessary. But like when he bursts in the room and the guy's in there naked making eggs, don't you think he should have said, "Oh, by the way, your art just killed someone"? Mm-hmm. Like, that's like the first thing out of my mouth. Oh, what is he doing here? Really? We just broke up. Oh, by the way, your art just killed someone. You might want to go, talk to the police. It just
ripped somebody's arm off,
Yeah, so there's no payoff.
No, I think there because they didn't clarify the rules, right? All the good horror movies have rules, and it might be as simple as don't fall asleep, right?
Yeah.
But this one.
This one has no rules.
It has no rules.
Or if they're there, they're not explained well.
And here's the thing.
Yeah.
The guy, I'm stealing a little bit from the trivia. The director admittedly said that he got inspiration while visiting a museum after watching the movie The Ring. Right?
Okay.
So The Ring has one rule. You watch the video, you die. So this movie doesn't tell you that, though. It's not like if you look at the art, you die. Because there are hundreds of people that would be dead.
Right.
So I thought maybe it's only people that benefit from the art, who are profiting from the art. But Jake Gyllenhaal's not profiting. He doesn't write the book. He doesn't write the story. And in fact, he tries to be rid of it. So is the art killing him because he knew the secret? But even if but he released the article, so why does the art care? I just don't understand why it.
It's so weird. Yeah,
why it killed him.
It's just not good.
It doesn't make sense at all.
It doesn't.
And it takes forever to get there.
Oh, it takes a long time.
Right? I don't think the first death is until like 45 minutes to an hour into the movie.
When I thought we were watching a horror movie, and I expect death pretty soon in a horror movie.
Yeah, a lot less. Something. There was a lot of man.
It was a thriller.
Yeah, a lot of man butt. There was a lot of that, but not a lot of. There's just I don't know. It's just
bad stuff.
It's just. I was bored. I honestly looked at my wife and said I couldn't tell you the last time I was this bored watching a movie for the podcast. I didn't write many notes because I was catatonic. I was in comatose. I was so
well, and I sent you guys a note. Maybe it was yesterday or whenever I finished the movie, and I do apologize. I generally don't feel bad making you guys suffer through things, but this one I do. I do feel bad recommending this one because this fell flat on all fronts for me.
Yeah, no, this because the problem is that this movie is really trying to do something. It's trying to be artistic. It's trying to do something, to deliver something, and it just failed. If the movie was only a character study on how people behave in this world, like Black Swan or something, like show me a world that most people don't understand, and then we're going to dive into that. If that's what the movie is about, we probably would never have watched it, but then that's your movie. But to make this a horror movie with very few horror elements, with magic stuff that doesn't quite make sense, and physics is being ignored. I mean, when the guy unplugs the film projector and it still runs, my line I typed was, let's see, what did I write? I know Dobson isn't a man's man, but if physics stops working, I am GTFO. That's what I wrote.
Yeah.
The first thing I wrote was art ... So, I am not here. I don't think any of us are here to insult art or artists as what they do.
No, absolutely
the three of us are artists in our own way. We're musicians. So we identify ourselves with that form of art.
But we are insulting this movie.
Well, I'm insulting the hell out of this movie. I don't really care about the art, though I would have liked to have experienced the art when Jake lost his mind in the anechoic chamber with the sound, whatever. Like, oh, that sounded kind of neat. But
yeah, with the whales.
Yeah,
the whale singing. Yeah, that would actually been kind of neat.
Yeah. But anyway, though I had to laugh when the guy opens the door and said, "This is a soundproof chamber." I'm like, not with that weak ass door. It's not.
You're a sound guy.
I am a sound guy. That's unfair. You're right.
Yeah. I had no clue. I didn't even think that way.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as he said it, I'm like, oh, no, it's not. I mean, if there was someone vacuuming outside, you'd hear it. But anyway. But the second note I wrote was, pretty sure I'm not sticking my arm into a piece of art called Sphere. I didn't write that. There's no way.
No.
I thought it was really dumb.
I don't even like sticking my fingers in bowling balls that I don't know who's used it before me.
That's fair.
Right?
Yeah.
Every time I think of the Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom and the bugs and having to pull the rings, that's every time I think of if I have to put my hand down anything dark, I think of bugs.
Go, we are going to die. And she's got her...
See, and I just did the shake. I just still cannot take that part.
I know we did the fourth Indiana Jones movie. We should do that one for the show at some point.
Yeah.
Maybe we should get Chad back on to do that one.
Yeah,
I think he'd have a good time with that one.
God rest his soul.
Installer guy is creepy, I wrote. Super valuable art transported by Dingus in his pickup. Yeah, I said that. Yeah, you're right, Sam. It was at minute 45. We finally have some horror elements, but still CGI.
Oh, okay,
painting,
I was right. 45 minutes in.
Yeah,
right.
CGI painting monkeys kill him. That's what I wrote.
Why did it have to be the monkeys? It just, if it was any other arts, it's just the monkeys. It's too Jumanji for me. It just didn't work.
I really wish, and I was as I was watching it, as I got to the end of the film, I really wish that they would have established the rule that only this artist's art kills people.
And that would make more sense.
And I kept hoping that at some point we would find out that the artist is not dead and that he's continuing to paint more even after these others are destroyed.
Or he's the one he's the one physically engineering the murders.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because you know what would make more sense on the garage crash that he did? Because he caught on fire and crashed.
Yeah.
It would have made a heck of a lot more sense if they panned to another one of the Dees paintings on the ground outside, like a painting of a fire, and then show it lighting up and then exploding the gas
station.
Yeah. And killing him that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. You did not have to have him go inside and get monkeys. I mean, that was a dumb move.
Quite honestly, we don't care about him enough as a character to care about how he dies like that. Had he just crashed and blown up in the gas station, cool. All right, move on.
Yeah.
He's the first victim. But I don't know. I just feel like this movie had...
And there's still a supernatural...
different things pulling it in many, many different directions.
Yeah.
It's almost like there were 7 people directing this.
Yeah, it's a movie by committee is what it felt like.
Yeah.
Which we know is wrong. And again, we all kind of had an interesting reaction to Nightcrawler. I can't remember, Andrew, if you were on that show or not. And I can't remember because we did that one a while ago.
Oh, Nightcrawler surprised the snot out of us.
And it really
quality of it.
It's really creepy, and Jake Gyllenhaal is really good in it. And that movie still gives me like the willies.
With the character study on that guy is
because he's a psychopath. He's legitimately a psychopath, and the fact that it's also got Rene Russo in it in a kind of similar kind of relationship between the two of them, but
a little more forced in that one.
Yeah, that's a good word for it, forced. How does someone like Jake, who is as superficial as it comes, have a flip phone? Though I wrote slip phone. Whatever that means. I thought that was weird that he had a flip phone. Where's his iPhone? It seemed like for a guy who the material mattered more to him than more people, he would have the best iPhone with a bedazzled cover.
Yeah, I thought when I saw that, I thought, oh, well, they're just using some outdated technology but then the other people all had
iPhones,
iPhones and stuff.
Like there was even a plot point later on when she's trying to use her phone and then a piece of art shows up and she can't lock her phone.
That is weird.
Actually, Sean, you gave Nightcrawler a 5.5.
Yeah. I didn't love the movie. It had issues, but when you compare it to this, you know what I'm saying? Like,
oh yeah.
It's not even close. Yeah, I gave it a 5.5. You gave it a 7, and Corny gave it an 8.5.
8.5. Yep.
So, yeah, I mean, Nightcrawler was good. I had some issues with it, mainly because I didn't like any of the characters in it. Because they're all kind of douchebag people, but
anyway.
Yeah.
No,
it's fine. Sorry, I'm typing. I shouldn't do that. Really, her tattoo. I did write also all poor Jake. I thought he might make it. I thought because he was trying to do the right thing, he was going to be the one that survived somehow, and then maybe. Anyway,
I was going to say again, it was not the Dees art that killed him either.
No, well, so there is some trivia about that particular thing. I'm already getting into half of the trivia that I wrote. Is that the principal characters are all killed by artwork for which they express disdain or contempt. So Morph, was Jake Gyllenhaal, he did not like the hobo man, which he referred to as unoriginal and lacking courage. Rodora by her own tattoo, which she expressed embarrassment, Josephina by graffiti, which she repeatedly mocked, and Gretchen by sphere, which she laughed at the mere sight of. I'm not sure what Don. I don't think he hated the art because it was in his own studio. So, I don't know. So that so even the movie can't even
kind of
follow.
Falls apart.
It doesn't even follow that rule.
Yeah.
But again, like if that's the motivation, if you critique art, that doesn't seem fair, because there's going to be lots of art that people don't like, and I mean, go to any college campus, you're going to see a lot of stuff that you're just not going to like. That doesn't mean you should be killed by it. I don't know why. It just reminded me of that line from Beetlejuice, when her big art sculpture crashes on top of the mom, and she's like, "This is my art, and it is dangerous. I do not want to die like this," or something like that. All right. That's kind of it. I have a few clips. I don't have much because there's just not a lot of. There's a lot of dialogue.
Fun stuff.
There's a lot of talking, but you're right. There's not a lot of fun, and it's just some weird stuff. So anyway, we got to get the name of the movie.
I Know All About You. Going back to your punk days.
Oof, that was many moons ago.
Velvet Buzzsaw.
Yeah, well, the name was catchy.
I thought Renee Russo was kind of bad in this. I'm just going to say it. She's been better.
I don't think she's ever really middle ground, is she?
I don't know. I just
seems
when she's like yeah, many moons ago. That's not her fault. It's a bad line, but I didn't think she was particularly good in this movie. All she was just kind of angry the whole time. The dumpster. I forgot what this is.
I mean, it took hours to carry it all down into my apartment. There's just so much of it.
No, you found the art in the trash, not in his apartment. This is very important. Now, remembering back, you found it in the dumpster. Isn't that what happened?
The dumpster. Yeah, I remember now.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, the dumpster. Okay, there you go. I captured this just because I like to hear John Malkovich talk. So there you go.
Now you've been gestating. Gestation implies birth. Ideas come, but they kill themselves as soon as they appear. This is a slaughterhouse. Welcome aboard.
I like him. Again, I like.
I feel like he was wasted in this movie. He's such a good actor.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why he was in this.
Yeah, what was this point in this?
Just to be another another artist. It's just a point of friction between Rene Russo and Don. That's all it is. Mm. There's so many things in this movie that distract you from the point of the movie, like the fact that Jake is gay, but he's going straight because of this woman, and he leaves his gay roommate or gay guy for this woman who then goes for the artist and breaks up. Like, none of that matters at all.
Right.
None of this whole we have to steal the artist from the other person. The poor girl from, you said The Walking Dead, Sam?
Yep.
Like,
No. Stranger Things.
Oh, Stranger Things. The fact that she can't get a gig, and then she, like none of that.
Although that was a funny running gag.
It was a funny gag because I felt bad for her because, again, every time she got a new boss, they would die. So
streamline this movie, take 30 to 45 minutes out, and you've got a pretty good one.
Yeah, and that's the problem. Right? Is because now you've got a 45-minute movie. You don't have a feature.
But then you add more crazy painting deaths.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. Heck, I'll give me 20 minutes of backstory on the dude.
Yeah,
give me some more backstory on him, or how he,
or finish up with the testing of the paintings on what everything is.
Yeah.
And run DNA test and realize, this isn't the painter's DNA.
Right. Yeah.
Just keep going and going and going down that rabbit hole, and that's more interesting to me than these idiots.
Yeah.
Fighting over artists and things like that.
The movie, I think, even though it was too long, I think I could have tolerated it if that's what they were going on about, rather than these other stories that nobody cares about.
Yep. There we go. We just made a better movie.
And here's proof that Morph is kind of a horrible person.
Oh, we are just stuck in here, aren't we? What is with that cheesy organ music? And that casket, what color is that? Smog orange? They buy it on sale?
Not so loud.
Seriously, imagine having to spend an eternity in that.
Jesus, nothing is ever good enough for you.
There you go.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, he's
so
kind of
it's hard to feel bad when these folks are dying.
Yeah, I mean, eventually he kind of turns around and figures out that the thing is killing people, but I mean, he's still that thing.
Still a douche. Yeah.
Anyway.
And now for some more bad news. Ready?
I already mentioned the thing about the ring. I already mentioned how they were killed. So the only other thing I haven't told you about was when Dan Gilroy was asked by Vanity Fair what he wants audiences to take away from the film, he said, quote, "I hope people look at art in a slightly different way. Anytime you listen to a piece of music or look at a sculpture or a painting or a film, you realize the artists behind that have invested what I believe to be their creative soul into the work. To me, that's a bit of a sacred thing, and I think we've lost that a little bit. I would love it if we could return to that."
So
okay, he never did that in the movie.
No.
Again, if they would have showed the painter and what he did, that makes me upset because that's
more to his.
Yeah, because then that would be interesting. Why was this happening? And it just
we don't care about him. We don't care about the artist. We care about his art in the movie somewhat until we find out that it's not just his art, it's other art that's also attacking people. But we don't care about him because the only time he's on screen is he's dead. And that's it.
Yeah. And a few flashes like on the film camera or the projector and some other stuff. But you're right.
I'll tell you this right now. I'm going to go, I'll be in Paris in...
you going to the Louvre?
Yeah, about a month. And in about a month, when I go to the Louvre, I'm going to be pissed off because I'm going to be thinking about this. That's what he's making me think. I won't be able to enjoy the art.
You're going to be staring at the Mona Lisa thinking, oh, is she going to move
to reach out and
slap me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are there a bunch of monkeys hanging out behind her?
Yeah, there's a monkey painting somewhere, and it's going to try to eat me or something. That's too funny. You should just make random references to that to people without letting them know. Like, are you going with your kids or what? Where are you going?
Yeah, I'm taking about 90.
Oh, good Lord!
To London and Paris.
Cool. Do you need any chaperones?
We've got 30 adults, so I think we're covered.
Right.
But
what about an economic advisor?
That we could probably use. Yeah.
You need a sound guy?
Okay.
Yeah. If my headphones stop working on the plane, I'll.
I can be there to descriptive audio. What's happening? Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Excuse me while I whip this out.
So we came up with a creative idea: movies, and by we I mean Sam. Top 3 movies about art. So that's actually an inappropriate, or not inappropriate. It's an incorrect. I'm changing it to like movies that feature art, and by art we mean
some sort of
painting sculpture, that kind of thing, stuff that was like in this movie, right? So like I know, music is an art, writing is an art, filmmaking is an art. We're not going to use those mediums. Yeah. We're literally using it as what was described in this movie, art. And the ones that I have are all kind of weak. So, of course, Andrew's going to go first, and he'll have the best of the 3 of us, and I'll be frustrated. So, Andrew,
we'll just sit here and whimper. Go ahead, Andrew.
My number 3 is not great, but that is Ferris Bueller's Day Off. They spend the day in the Chicago Institute of Art just staring at art, and they get closer and closer to the pointillistic scene by, I forget the artist's name. But so there's number 3. Number 2 is going to be a movie that's not a great movie, but I do enjoy watching it, and it's Mr. Bean, the movie, where he is the curator of the Whistler's mother, and all sorts of things happen terribly to that painting. And then number 1 is Ghostbusters 2.
Oh, nice. Oh, I didn't even think of that.
We have Vigo, who...
oh, right. It's Vigo.
Who stares at you the whole time.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Oh, we need to do that movie for the show just so I can record that guy. It's Vigo. Yeah. Oh, he's great. All right. Those are pretty fun. Yeah, Sam?
All right. My number 3, I'm gonna save my honorable mention just so in case Opie has it. But my number 3 is the Da Vinci Code.
Oh man, that's actually really good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
So that starts in where Andrew's going to be going here pretty soon.
Yeah.
My number 2 is Titanic.
Okay, sure. Yeah.
With
the naked lady.
Not only him drawing, but she actually has a collection of art that they're bringing with them.
Yeah.
And my number 1 is something, and I'm going off the ledge here a little bit. It's a documentary called Exit Through the Gift Shop. And it starts out about Banksy and then ends up being a dialogue on street art. And it's absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Okay. Sure.
Yep.
Wow. Okay.
How about you, Sean? What you got? Well, is that 6 different movies, by the way?
Yeah, we're going to have 9.
Oh, heck yeah.
Wow.
So I have 2 honorable mentions. One is one of my favorite TV shows, Leverage. Doesn't count, but they deal with art all the time. So Leverage. I have to mention Leverage because it's awesome. My other honorable mention is a Nicholas Sparks book turned movie called The Longest Ride. Yes, I have watched it with my wife.
Is that like the sequel to The Longest Yard?
No,
yeah.
No, but there's a lot of art and stuff, and I think Alan Alda is in that movie, which is kind of fun. So my number 3 is What Dreams May Come.
Ooh, yeah.
So that's
Heaven
the one.
Is art.
That is the one that Sarah came up with.
Gorgeous.
I actually am going to move that to my number 2 because that's actually better than my actual number 2. So my number 3 is the 1989 Batman, where they go into the art museum and just dismantling the art, whatever. That's the thing I could think of. And my number 1, which I'm really surprised no one mentioned, the Thomas Crown Affair.
Yeah, that was my honorable mention.
Okay.
I thought that was too obvious.
That's why I picked it, because I couldn't think of anything else. So.
Nice.
Oh, that's cool. Well, we still had 9 different movies.
Yeah, I'm impressed.
Yeah, I am too.
Actually.
Cool. All right. Now this part of the show.
Wait, what's supposed to happen?
We're going to give us a score. I will be surprised if this score breaks 3. Andrew.
Yeah. Well, mine will certainly not. This will be I don't know the movies that I've given extremely low scores to off the top of my head. But this one is going to be right there with them. I mean, we may not even breach 1.
Oh.
I'm thinking like a 0.8.
Okay.
For me.
All right. Yeah, that's fine. Sam?
Yeah, now that Andrew did it so low, I'm kind of agreeing with him. There's no way in hell I want to watch this again.
No.
It's not fun. It's boring. And it's a time sink. It's a waste of time. I'm a 1.3 with most of those points going because I actually like Jake Gyllenhaal's acting skills in this, and that's it. There's just nothing else redeeming.
I'm looking back at movies that I've given really low scores to.
Yeah.
And I would rather watch every one of them so far than this movie. Like Final Girl, I gave a 2.3.
Yeah, I'd rather watch that.
Though, and I did give Birdemic a 0, but I would rather watch Birdemic than this because at least Birdemic is fun. It's stupid, but it's fun.
To your negative numbers here?
Yeah, I mean, the 3 of us could sit down and watch Birdemic and laugh, right?
Yeah, especially together.
I don't want to sit down with you guys and watch this. It still won't be fun.
Enjoy.
Yeah, I'm trying to. So The last movie I gave a 1 to was the ABCs of Death. Now, that's probably my line. I think I'd rather watch this again than that. That's the line. Yeah. So with that being said, I have to at least give it a little bit better than the 1 that I gave that movie. So, Sam, what was yours again? A 2.3 that you said?
A 1.3.
A 1.3? Okay. Yeah, I like that. 1.3. I'm going to do the exact same thing. 11. 1.3. It's just a little bit better than the ABCs of Death, which I really reviled. I hated that. Yeah. With a passion.
Which was another Halloween one.
It was a Halloween one. Yeah, I mean, and that's unfortunate because a lot of our really bad ones have been Halloween ones. I mean, the ones we did last year, none of them came close to this bad. I mean, I think the one that we liked the least was not Mother, maybe the Witch or Doom. I guess Doom was the lowest scored, but all of them were pretty. And then you go back even further, and then you get Birdemic, which barely got a 0. It got a 0.06. And then we liked the rest of those pretty well. And then, you know, Exorcist, Jaws, Event Horizon, Tremors. I mean, we've.
Does this lead to the observance that it's difficult to make a good horror movie? I mean,
well, I don't know. I mean, unless your name is Jordan Peele.
There's great movies out there. I think that what a lot of horror movies lack is the great storytelling that the movies that we all love have. Yeah. And I think sometimes maybe the horror movies try so much to get those jump scares and try to make it what we call quote unquote horror and forget about the story side of it. Because this movie had a terrible story, and it wasn't told well.
It feels like I've not seen Get Out, which I hear is really good. I've not seen the other Jordan Peele one, which I hear is really good. Us, I think is what it's called.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I can't speak to those. And I'm not a huge horror film fan anyway. The ones that I like are the funny horror kind of thing. Again, your Tucker Dale, your Evil Dead, your things like that, right? So. But
think of the good horror though. The Exorcist, Jaws.
Well, The Exorcist, The Exorcist was really good. Jaws was really good. But it's
because they have a story and they have rules to their universe.
But also, let's be real honest. Those movies are kind of simple, and I think that's what makes horror good. It needs to be kind of simple, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
they threw too much at Velvet Buzzsaw. It just did not need to be there.
Like The Ring. The Ring is a great example. Watch video, die. Yep. That's your rule. That's the only rule you need. What's the grudge? You go into the house, you die. There's a lot of these really great horror films that are kind of nichey and fun because they have simple rules, because they're simple. I mean, Cabin in the Woods, we all really enjoyed Cabin in the Woods, which is a horror film. Yep. That one is probably the most complicated story we've ever seen, and it wasn't that complicated.
And still good. Yeah.
You know, for the most part, it's just 5 teens go in the woods, you must escape. And then they added all the other weird stuff into it.
And there's just a curveball to it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think the horror genre needs to do the same thing that in the MCU figured out. Here's our genre. Let's just make the story simple, and then you just add on. This is not a simple story is the problem. They're trying to be clever, and it doesn't need to be this hard.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's it. That's what we think of Velvet Buzzsaw. So if you listen to this review, you're probably thinking, there's no way in hell I'm going to watch it. I don't blame you. A lot of times we say you need to watch a movie. Some of the bad ones we even said you should watch it because it's fun. I would not wish this on anyone unless you're just a Jake Gyllenhaal humongous fan. Like you just got to watch everything that he's in, and then go watch it and enjoy his performance. And the music, the soundtrack was actually kind of neat. I kind of liked the cello kind of throughout the movie. I didn't have a problem with that, but everything else. I mean, the movie looked fine. There was nothing. It wasn't a beautiful film. It was fine. It was a lot of interior, and whatever. So I mean,
that was shit.
The thing is, I mean, the movie even kind of. What really annoyed me the most was when Toni Collette, when she died, the fact that most people thought she was part of the art, like, and that the kids were walking up and walking around in the blood. who, like this is the problem, right? That we've become so, that the art has to be so weird and edgy that we think that a dead woman on the ground is part of the art. Anyway. All right, well, that's it. That's the show. Yep. That was fun talking to you guys, but that was not fun to watch. What are we doing next week? Well, next week we're doing something that legitimately is considered scary. I've never seen it because, again, I don't like the scary movies. And so we are watching The Conjuring. Now, here's a legitimately funny anecdote about the movie The Conjuring. Okay. When I was working at Clemson for about the year that I was there, during Halloween, the movie theater that was inside the building that I managed, they showed movies every week, and during Halloween they show scary movies, and they have posters for the movies that they hang in the marquee, and they had this movie poster. Now, if you've not seen what this poster looks like, it's a tree and a creepy house in the background with a noose, and then on the ground is a shadow of a figure, but there's nothing in the noose. And a lot of people got really offended by the poster because this was a month or two after Clemson went through some kind of racial tension on campus.
Oh, gosh.
And now here's a picture of a noose in one of the main buildings, and people were really upset, and we had to have, I wasn't there yet, but they removed the poster and didn't show the movie. So anyway, I don't know why I told that story. It's actually not funny. I said it was, but it's actually not, now that I think about it. But that's my only connection to The Conjuring. So it's got a 7.5 on IMDb. It's got Patrick Wilson, who we've seen, and some other
Isn't
people.
he in Insidious or something?
Patrick
or
Wilson?
Saw?
He's not in Saw. He might be in Insidious. He's in several. I know him mostly from Phantom of the Opera. Yes, he is in Insidious. He's also in The Watchmen. Apparently he's in the new Midway movie.
He's done some horror films, though.
Yeah, he's done
The Nun and Annabelle.
He did an Aquaman. Oof. There you go. You like that? Apparently, in Batman vs. Superman: Dawn of Justice, he was the President of the United States. He was the voice of him. That's kind of funny. He was in the Fargo TV series, which also has your... Oh, Andrew.
Uh-huh.
He is our Bone Tomahawk connection.
That's right. That's right.
Insidious 2, The Conjuring. Yeah, he's done some horror films.
I tell you, Bone Tomahawk bothers me more than this horror movie we just watched.
Oh, good gosh, yes.
Because,
I mean, just the wishbone part.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Just the sound. I can still hear that sound.
Yeah, that part makes me uncomfortable.
Alive.
Yeah. Anyway, so we're doing The Conjuring next week.
And I'm scared. I am scared.
So we might do something fun for that. Sam and I might do, and Andrew, we might participate in something kind of fun along with the show for that. We're going to talk about it off air.
Drinking?
Sam had the bright idea to. Well, we'll talk about it. We'll let you know if it happens. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
I don't want to even tease it in case it doesn't happen. We might have a guest host next week. A guest host coming back to the show. Maybe we're working schedules out. Anyway, that's the show. Thank you guys so much for listening. What am I supposed to say? Well, I'm supposed to say like us on Facebook.com/Cheapseat Reviews. Follow us on Twitter @CheapseatCast. Leave us a review on iTunes, Google Play, YouTube, things like that. The website is getting a facelift. So it's still the old website right now. Within the next, probably by the time we're done with Halloween, we'll have a totally new not Facebook. We'll have a totally new website.
Yeah. She was getting bags under her eyes and crow's feet,
Yeah, it was time for a makeover. So that's happening. It's actually happening. Things are in the process of a new website. So looking forward to that, where we'll do some fun things. And also send us your emails to cheapseatreviews@gmail.com. And that's going to do it. So on behalf of Andrew and Sam, this is Sean saying thank you guys so much for listening, and we will see you Next week with The Conjuring, assuming that we survive the viewing of the movie.